you lot. How are you? Well, come into my craft room. Would you like to craft together with me today? I love these shows. It's just me and you. You. I'm looking at you. Yes. Come into my craft room because today's really a good show. It's an hour long and we're going to be talking all things Illustrator because the pens are the highest end of any of our pens. They are absolutely incredible and I'm going to be showing you exactly why. Not only that, we have the most remarkable offer on them. So if you're in need or you want to try out our pens, you've got maybe our classics or you've maybe gone for our Tri-Blend pens, you might want to sort of dabble in the Illustrators and see what all the fuss is about, then stay with us and we're going to be going through that whole hour and talking about all the Illustrator pens. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, we are fully social on the hour, but it is just me, so look, I'm knocking things about already, but Rachel's going to keep me in check. Nicola's in my ears, so she's saying hello, and our radical Rach is on social. She's with us for the whole hour. She's saying she wouldn't miss it. I love you, Rach. Yes. I was just saying to our Nicola, I am so looking forward to this show. I love the craft togethers. I feel like they are just our chance to get sort of personal with each other and for us to really showcase just one thing that we can really be quite passionate about. And I don't get a lot of time to colour. So when I have an hour and someone's saying, Debbie, you can just colour for an hour. Who wouldn't want to do that show? Right, we've already got some of you in with us today. Hopefully you're all joining on from the end of Ben and Penny's show because I know that last hour you've loved the wall. I mean, isn't it beautiful? The crochet, did you see the octopus? Oh, it was beautiful. Trudy's in with us today saying hello to everyone. We've got Love to Create is in saying Debbie, hi Debbie and the team and everyone. Laurie Barnett's in saying hi from Arizona. PB Bruin Martin is in saying hi again, looking forward to the show with Debbie. And Bella Stella, love that, is saying hiya to everyone. So yeah, hopefully more of you will join us, but we do know a lot of you watch on catch up as well. So if you're watching on catch up, and I'm not live at the moment, hello to you. Right, let's get started with what we've got on today. When I was looking at my, just before we start, I was looking at my messages. Do you know when you get all your sort of what do they call them? Notifications that come down on your phone? I had a friend request from a funeral director. I mean, a funeral director, it's just what you need on a Tuesday, something to brighten your day. I mean, what is the funniest notification that you've got? I want to know, tell me. I'd love to hear what your notification's for because I thought that was a very random request. Maybe they just go through and look on Facebook or Instagram and see how old you are and maybe they think that you're in need of a funeral director. I mean, who knows? Why does a funeral director, send you a friend request? Who knows? Right, anyway, let's get started. The sun is shining and the illustrators are out. I've done it again. Can you believe I just done that? Just not that, we don't want to see the top box, we want to see the pens anyway. I'll get it in a minute. I've just went and grabbed some samples from our sample library because I really want to show you some of these beautiful samples that we've got and the sorts of things that you could be doing with these. Now, obviously they're called Illustrator because your Illustrator means that you can illustrate yourself. If there was one craft that I really wish I could do, illustrating would be it. I wish I could draw. I honestly wish I could draw and just have these beautiful stamps made because I think that must be such a, for your own personal use, to be able to draw must be incredible and I would really love to do it. I mean, what's the thing that you would really love to do if you had a chance to? That's perhaps we need to ask that question because there's so many things, aren't there, that we don't get time in life for, and it would just be nice if we were able to do them. But these are the sorts of techniques, those beautiful colours. But what about doing like animal fur? I will get that out. Animal fur. It is fur, not fur. Only Tuesday. Can't even blame it on a Monday morning. It's the flicking technique, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that with the brush nibs, which are incredible. But if you're colouring flowers, seascape, landscape, whatever you want to use your colours with, even Christmas cards, these pens will do it for you. So whether you want a full load of ink down on your page, or you just want to do that flicking technique, you're able to do it with these pens. So let's go through the pens. I'm going to show you this one first. I'm going to leave that there so you can zoom in on there while I just go and pick up the box that I've just flicked across the studio. There we go. I was thinking I was really organised today and I wouldn't have to get up from my chair, so I wouldn't have to leave the studio, and then I'd go and flick the box away. Well, there we go. Right, our first one is our natural landscapes. Now, you can see the price there. You've actually got £50 off of there. It is honestly incredible. We're giving you 4 boxes. There's 48 pens in total, 12 in each box. If I turn that round, you'll be able to see all the colours of those. So amazing colours that you're getting in that natural landscape. And the great thing about these, even though we say it's for landscapes, they could be for your hair tones, they could be for an ethnic skin tone. So there's loads of different things that you can use those colours for, which are incredible. Now, before we go on to all the other colours, I just want to actually show you one of the pens. So if anyone's new to us at Crafters Companion, I mean, where have you been? But if you know us and you know our Illustrator, you might just be thinking, I haven't tried these, I would like to try them. Now is your chance to buy, especially at such a remarkable price. Now, on one side, you've got that amazing brush nib, and I say amazing. Leanne has told me that this is the expense of the pen. The brush nib is a Japanese brush marker, which is absolute artist quality. So if you love watercolouring, or you just love a sort of a glide with a brush nib, these are definitely the pens for you. They're super juicy, they're amazing pens. And then on the other side, the Illustrator, illustrating is what I was telling you about. If you like to illustrate, you've actually got that really small nib. It's a hard nib. It means that you can get into all those small places, but it also means you can draw with that. And I think that's incredibly important with these pens, that you're getting those 2 different nibs in that one pen. And your whole barrel inside is jam-packed with the ink that comes inside there. So that's your first pack. So that one is your natural landscape. So let's pop that to the side. Oh, have I got them mixed up because I was using them? Ah, look. Debbie, oh, that's why, isn't it? Because I knocked the top one off, not the box off. Okay. Good start, isn't it? I mean, honestly, it's such a good start. It's a good job that I have Nicola in my ear, and yeah, I'm always watching. We've got Carolyn saying hi, everyone, and she's saying, I get loads of notifications on the account, perks of the job. You're just trashing the place today, Debs, bullying a china shop. That is just so me, honestly. And Stephen Nichols is in on Facebook saying, trouble when I colour, I go over the lines. Oh, I'll give you a little tip about that then, Stephen. So, because yes, I think that can be something you do, isn't it? So let's show the colours now from the skin tone, which I've already shown you in the pens, but they're the ones that go with the pens. The portrait and figure are beautiful pens, because not only are these amazing skin tones, to show you the back of those ones, they're actually really good for just adding highlights, for adding an undertone, and they are brilliant for your hair as well. So amazing set of pens there. And I would say if you are cherry picking, I mean, you don't want to do that because the price is so good on all 4 of these, but if you are cherry picking, then this pen set, if you want to do hair and skin, you definitely want that one. And I'm going to show you as well how to do your hair and skin tones, so I've got that planned. Our next one is our urban cityscapes. I love this one. It's got a real sort of definition of sort of the hues. You know when you get like a vintage hue, that's what these are like. They're absolutely beautiful, and I'll show you what I mean when I turn them round. You've got those amazing sort of vintagey blues and greys and those tan colours. I absolutely love this set. It's a brilliant one to have, and again, being able to get a black in there and it is a true black, so that's a really great one to have as well. Then the next one we've got is our coastal seascape, another beautiful one. So you've got something for everyone. You can mix and match these, absolutely, but if you do want to have them in the themes that they're in, then they're perfect for that actual theme. I mean, you can see there your coastal, your beach, your pebbles, everything that you need to be able to get crafty with those ones. So I absolutely love those. So you're getting all of those, 48 pieces, which is incredible, for that incredible price. In fact, your platinum price is £80 or $100. That is very good. I mean, really good for artist quality markers, which is amazing. Right now, I hope all of you are joining us. We've got no more anything coming in, so I'm going to get started. So let me bring in some of our pens here, because what I want to show you is exactly how the pens work and what they are. So basically, they are an alcohol pen. They are a pen which offers you the most amazing lay down of colour. So with that brush nib, if I just do this, I can get a big lay down of colour in quite a quick time. And if you go over that, you end up getting a really smooth blend, which means you're getting that solid colour of intense green on there. And then you'll get to the stage where it'll start pooling on the top, because you can't put that anywhere else. It's also really important to talk about the cardstock, because the Illustrator pens, or because they're alcohol pens, they will seep through the back. Now, if you use watercolour cardstock, all that's going to do is suck all your alcohol, all your pen, all your ink out of your pen really quickly. So you want to be able to lay down quickly. So Stephen, about the lines, make sure that you are colouring onto a page at the back. It doesn't have to be your alcohol marker page. You can just have any card at the back, but that will help so it doesn't bleed back into your card. You also, when you're colouring, colour just onto the inside until you see it move to the edges. Once it starts moving to the edges, you don't need a lot more. So you can see I've coloured all that in with hardly any lay down of colour, because it's just a case of dotting in where you need it. So when you've got a small amount, just don't go in too thoroughly with your pen, and use the real nib of them. The other thing is the brush nib has that really pointy edge, so you can get into those tiny little spaces without going out the edges. Another little trick, I'm just going to have a look. There isn't one, but I will show you that afterwards. But what you can do, let's take another pen, and I'm just going to go into here, is if you colour this, let's just colour one petal. We'll just do one lay down of colour. So I'm just going to go around there, just do that lay down of colour. Now, if you slightly, look, I've just slightly gone out of the edge there. If you go out of the edge, all you then need to do, using, let's say, an ice grey, because it's such a light colour, you can go in and add a shadow around the edge. And the more you work on top of that colour, it actually bleaches out that colour. And then what it will do, there we go, it's actually gone. It will give you this sort of haze around it to give you a lot of depth. But look at that, it's more or less gone. And from the back, that will just bleed through and go onto your page. So that's one way as well. If you do go out of the edge, you can absolutely do that. Now, as you're colouring, you can colour with different colours as well with alcohol markers. We tend to tell you about colour families that run. So this one is your coral. So this is a CR5. So, but it doesn't mean I can't then go in. There's a bright pink here. So bright pink, I've got pale pink actually, number 6. And I could go in with that pale pink as well, because it's a similar colour. We can add that into the same colour. Now, to make it look a little bit different, we can then use one colour. So let's just use that pink, and then we can go in with the lightest coral colour, and you can see it looks more orangey then. And all you need to be mindful of is that you're using colours that are similar and that are going to match together. If I was to put, I mean, you could actually put a blue on there, but if I was to put a blue, so let's do the pink again on a different one. So I'll just do a bit on here. And then I wanted to go in fact, I'm going to colour all of that. You can see with the Illustrator with the big brush, you can get a lot of lay down of colour. Go in with a completely different colour, which is a blue. I can start to add colour into here, but it's not going to blend particularly well, because they're two completely different colours. But you can do it, it just means that you get different sort of variations. And you can get that sort of colour, but it's not going to blend. Can you see? You can now see where one line goes and the other one starts. Where you get the two colour families by actually adding, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the orange or the coral colour around that edge, and then I'm going to go into that pink. Now I've started to blend those two colours together, so you can hardly see that there's a variation of those colours. So there's different ways that you can use them and put them down onto your page, because they're just a really lovely pen to have. Now, if you want to do your flicking techniques, that's where these pens come into their own, because of that brush nib. And I will show you not on the petal, I will show you just on here. If you are holding your pen quite close here, you're going to get quite a big lay down of colour, so you do these nice sort of flicks. If you, the higher up you do it, it sort of gives you, well, actually there's not much difference in your flicking, so it just depends when you, where you want to hold it, where you're comfortable. And then we could go in with a different colour and flick on top of that as well, so we can do those flicks. And this is practice, so I would say when you are using it to do that flicking technique, make sure that you just give it a practice first. And then if you want to do smaller, let me just get one of the sandy colours here. So if you're doing fur, for instance, and you want to just do the fur, you would do really small flicking techniques to do that fur. And you've got pointillism as well. Now I'm trying to cover lots of different things, so if you then want to add in onto that fur some texture, you can then do our pointillism, which is just adding all those little dots. And even though that's one colour, we're still getting some sort of texture into that. So your pens are really good for lots of things. And then you've got your small one, so if you want to do then even smaller flicks, I mean this is a brown, but look how it blends into our pinks, and that's going to give you real definition. So if you're doing grass, especially if you want to do sort of grass, your smaller ones with this nib is just absolutely brilliant. So they're your illustrators, they're the two different nibs that they offer you, and you can blend them like you would any other sort of alcohol product, so they're a really good one to have. Now we talked about the marker card, so we do alcohol marker card, which you'll find on the website, so just type in alcohol card and it will come up. So we do our alcohol card, used to be our Nina cardstock, but we now just named it alcohol card, so people know exactly what it's used for, because we've always done Nina cardstock, but not everybody, especially new people. So if you're new today, please say hi and let us know what your craft is. But if you use Nina cardstock, not everybody knows what Nina cardstock is. It's just, oh, what's Nina cardstock? That's a weird name. So we've just named it alcohol cardstock, so which is great. My goodness, where has 20 minutes gone? That's crazy, absolutely crazy. So yes, so you, and definitely do not use watercolour cardstock, and you can use our white stamping cardstock as well, because that's good for alcohol pens, but your best cardstock is your alcohol marker cardstock. Carol is in and she's saying, are the Illustrators alcohol pens? I know they are not aqua. Yes, hopefully I've answered that, Carol. They are absolutely alcohol markers. And if anyone has isopropanol, which is like your 100%, or I think it's about 90% rubbing alcohol, you can mix that onto your glass mat with your alcohol pens, and you can sort of use that in a different way, or onto your, if anyone's got some of our glossy paper, which was your photograph paper, it will work on there as well. So you could actually use that, colour onto it with your alcohol markers, and then drop your isopropanol onto there, and that would just make a different effect as well. I'm just trying to cram lots into the hour, but you'll find loads of tutorial on YouTube and Facebook, so just go and look on there. Probably YouTube, because isn't Facebook now deleting videos? Apparently so. So I think they only last for about 30 days. So videos that have been there in the past. So YouTube is probably the best way to go and find those videos. Just type into the search engine and alcohol marker techniques, and you'll find so many different ways. Now, I do also want to go on to different mediums. So before we get onto our skin and hair colouring. So we've shown you the markers, showed you how they're doing, and I've got a few different mediums here. One of them is our craft card, and it's a really great one to colour onto. And works particularly well. You get a different effect but you get a gorgeous lay down of colour as well, which just shows the vibrancy of our pens. So even though this is a vibrant colour, it's dulled down to be that sort of vintage colour, which is just beautiful. And it's just a case of colouring onto a different medium and making something look just even nicer than what it is. So we're just going to go in with that pink as well. You could use other colours that are going to blend in the same colour families, but I quite like using those differences. And I'm using it just to brush into that colour, so we can just get a nice lay down of colour on there, which is beautiful. So I'm just going to colour this for a little while. Oh, let's have a look. Have we got another question? No, nothing yet. The Wi-Fi is really bad today because I was trying to do something this morning because I'm trying to get a parcel delivered here, and then it kept telling me, yeah, I couldn't, so, and I've still not sorted it, so yeah. And also I've been trying to ring Al and I couldn't get through on video, so I had to call him in the end. So I think the Wi-Fi is really bad. So I will disconnect in a second and just see if that makes a difference. Let's do that, shall we? Right, this is nice, isn't it? Because we can just do it in real time. So let's have a look. We want settings. We want to do Wi-Fi, disconnect. Let's see if that helps. And then let's go back on. Oh yeah, so Trudy is coming, so, and Rachel said, my isopropanol is 99.9%. That's really strong, Rachel. I didn't even know you could get it that strong, so that's very good. That will really blend with your alcohol pens. So Trudy is saying, what's the difference between the Illustrators and the Tri-Blends? Do we have a Tri-Blend in the studio? Liam's here. It's like magic hands, look at that. You just ask and it comes. I mean, that was timing, Trudy, to ask that question. Liam literally just walked in the studio and he just walked back out. So yes. So the difference with the Tri-Blend, so the Tri-Blend are what we class as our very first sort of pens to get started on. And your Tri-Blends have the same colour family in them, and they have a light, let me put them in the right order so you can see. Let's just do it that way. So they have a light, a medium and a dark colour. So each one of those will blend effortlessly into each other. Now the difference between a pen like this and this one is not a lot of ink compared to this one, so you've got a whole barrel full of the same ink, but it makes this one easy to learn how to colour with your alcohol pens. You've also got a harder nib on there. We do brush nibs as well, but that's a harder nib on the normal Tri-pens. So it just depends, and these ones are the ones that I always say, I really wish I could put in somebody's hand and let you colour with them, because they're incredible to use, and that brush nib is better than any brush nib that we've ever done. I'm just going to take a drop of water. It's a new bottle. Would you like my, yes, I bought my daughter one for Mother's Day. It was my Mother's Day treat. I always buy my eldest daughter, because she's got children. It was a tradition my mum did. So when my mum lost her mum, she didn't have a mum to buy for. So she always bought them presents from me and my sister-in-law, so my son's, not my son, my brother's wife. So she always bought us presents for Mother's Day, so she had someone to buy for on Mother's Day. So I've lost my mum and I use that as a tradition now. So I always buy my daughter a Mother's Day present because it's Mother's Day. So I feel like I'm giving to another mother. So yeah. The only thing that's going to happen though, because Al's got 2 daughters, I've got another daughter, they're all going to have children eventually. And Mother's Day is going to be really expensive for me then, isn't it? So, but I've got to keep up the traditions. So, and I love that. So I bought us matching, what are they called? Just Stanley cups, yeah, but I suppose that's what they are, Stanley, yeah. Yes, we bought matching cups, which I quite like. And they do work. So anyone that's a little bit sceptical of them, I left mine in the car yesterday, and when I went to take a drink, it was still cold. I know, and the car was baking hot. So yes, I know, yeah. Not that we're selling the cups, we're not selling Stanley cups, we're selling alcohol markers. Alcohol cups, I mean, it's a little bit of a... so yeah, so that's the difference, is that you get 3 pens of different shades in there, but the same colour families, and the Illustrator you just get one and you get a lot more ink, so these are going to last you a lot longer. So that's that one done. Just going to double check that we've got no one else on there. Right, so let's get back. So we've done that one. I'm not going to spend lots of time on here because I want to get on to colouring our image. So you can use them on a different one, which is always good. And I will just use the green just to do a little bit of the foliage as well, just to show you how beautiful this will look. And you can still blend as well, so I'm just sort of doing one colour really on there, but you can absolutely, and that little point there, so Stephen, you were saying about going out the edges, you can still just, and what I would say, I'm really just tickling the surface of this, so you don't need to be heavy-handed. They're super juicy, you've got loads of ink in there, and just brush that down. There we go. I'll just turn that round so you can see that a little bit close up. So it's really easy to have that lay down a colour and pop that onto your image. So that's another one. And you've probably noticed that I've got a little bit of mirror cardstock. This is one of my favourite things. I love colouring embossing folders with mirror card, but you can actually colour onto mirror card with your alcohol pens. So let's use, I want to use a brighter colour actually. Let's go for this one here. We've got a nice true blue. True blue. No, you don't want to hear me singing on my own. I'm all right when I got back up with Ben, but I don't want to be singing on my own. But look at this, just curving over the image. You get a lovely lay down of colour. Now you can get, you can blend these, but because it's mirror cardstock, it's almost like you get little effects into it. I'm going to use an even, let's go up to a number 6. So that will give me more colour. There we go. And if you bring that down, you get almost like a ripple effect. But if you lay too much colour into there, you'll get a bigger lay down of colour and then it will almost spoil it. So you just want to just go around. But you can go in with all your colours and colour these in. Now the other thing you can do is you can colour around it as well. So can you see where I've missed bits? If you actually colour onto here, look at this. You can get these beautiful effects. So, you know, we do all those pads with the beautiful, well, this is part of it, one of the pads that we do, where you get all those images. You can actually colour all the way around that. If I just show that, I'm going to show it to the front of the camera, just so you can see that. Look, there we go. I mean, how incredible is that? So if you just want to pinpoint just one of the images that you've got on some of your mirror cardstock, you can absolutely colour onto there and they look beautiful. So that's your mirror cardstock. Now, also glitter cardstock, as long as it's a lighter colour. So I'm using the silver and I've just cut out one of our corner detailed dies that we had. You can colour that in as well. So and that's a case of just going over the top. We've now got glittered card that's coloured. And you could do that any colour you want. I mean, I've just got, because I've got a blue in my hand, I'm just continuing with that blue. Because it's alcohol based, it's going to colour onto anything that will take it. So it's just a really cool design to be able to do it like this. I've just put this through the sticker maker, but you can obviously just colour them in. And then once you've coloured them in, take them off like that. I'll just take that sticker off. Like so. There we go. And then let me turn that one over. Actually, I'm going to pop that onto there. Let's pop that on the corner. I mean, you give it a little bit more chance to dry. And all I'm going to do is get another piece of card just to do that. And then that way, see, hardly any comes off of it once it's done. And then you've got that beautiful corner. Look at that, in a completely different colour, but it's still glittered, which is amazing. I'll turn it around there, you'll be able to then see that Look at that. And you could do that any colour that you want it to be. So now all your die cuts and your glittered die cuts can now be a totally different colour. Look at that. Beautiful. Love that. And I'm still going to carry on that theme of colouring different things, because a lot of people don't realise the sorts of things that you can colour with your markers. So let me just bring this in and show you all the different things that I've got. Right through from wooden embellishments, we've got buttons on here, we've got, this is one of my favourite things to do. So this is your lace. So you would use your card here and just go over your lace with that colour. And you can then make your lace any colour that you want it to be. I mean, and actually let's do some ombre. Let's do this one as well, so we can then go into it with this colour. So you could be making rainbow ribbon, rainbow lace, which is just beautiful to do, because it just grabs, because it's alcohol based, it's going to give you that beautiful lay down of colour. Got another colour that will mix. I might just do the blue. So let's just do a little bit more of that one, so we can make our ribbon all different colours. There we go, or lace should I say, like so. So you're getting all of that. Look at that, how pretty is that? Just absolutely beautiful. And then you can then take it into your wooden embellishments. I've got just our wooden embellishments here. And you can paint, because these aren't coated with anything. You don't need to, what's the word when you put something down on something? Prime. Yes, you don't need to prime it. You can literally just paint straight onto your wood. And actually, let's colour back over that with a green, so we can get the green on there. There we go. Maybe not on that one, because I've already painted that one, but that would give us almost like a brown leaf. Looks like it's dyeing the leaf there. Autumnal. And then let's just have a different one to go around the edge with. And look how quick it is, because the wood will absorb quite quickly. Don't need to spend a lot of time on like using your pens for too long on there, because you don't want to take all your ink. You just want to have that beautiful embellishment really quickly, like so. So that's your lace, then you've got your, and think of all the things that you can then use to have these all matching. So if you've got a project, so let's just do this one. Now, if you've got like a button like this, a shiny button, because of the alcohol, it will make like little stripes on there. So, and it will take just a little bit longer to dry, but it will dry, but it gives you really cool effects. So you can have these real sort of stripy effects. Oh, turn that over. And then we can sort of go the other way. And because it's like translucent, and it's a really cool effect that you can put on there to do your little buttons. I mean, what you'd be best with is a pokey tool in the middle that you could put in there. But your buttons you can do that with. And then because we've got silver, you might not see it so much. I'm going to use the blue. Oh yeah, you can really see that. So your little tags, your embellishments, you can now be changing. So this is a true story. When I first started with Crafter's Companion and I got all the pens, my mum used to come over and she used to colour all her pearl earrings in with my alcohol pens to match her outfits. That is absolutely true. Oh, sorry, let's bring it to the close there. Look at that. How beautiful is that in a lovely blue? I absolutely love that. So loads of things that you can do there. Yeah, and your pearl earrings. Yes, my mum had loads of them. So every different top she wore, she had her pearl earrings to match in that colour, because she'd come over and pinch my pens. And I love this. You know, you get gems, and we don't do gems like this, but your gems that are self-adhesive on the sheets, these are brilliant, because you can just colour these directly onto where they are. So if I just want a green gem there, I can colour that one directly onto there. Look at that, is beautiful. And then if you want blue gems, you can colour them blue. So I love the fact that alcohol pens are so versatile in whatever you want to put them on, and they look incredible. So there we go. So you think of all your jewellery you can colour in. If I just pop that to the light, and there you go. So you've got all those different colours in gems. So a really good way of just being able to use them. And even ribbon, I've got like, there's some ribbon here, which was, I think these were from our Violet Studio ages ago. And you can even colour your ribbon. So if you want to just change the look, and brilliant thing with this as well, can you see this ribbon? It has like dots and that on there. When you colour over that, it actually changes it. You can highlight it. So look, I'll show you. As you go on, look at this. How cool. Yeah, I found this out a while ago. So when you colour over them, and that one's got a little seam going through it. How fabulous is that? This is why you need alcohol pens. And then if you just hold your pen onto your ribbon, you can literally, this is quite a thick ribbon, and it might not be something you want to use these pens for, because these are your Illustrator. But I just want to show you all those different ways that you can be changing the look of your ribbons just by colouring them in. I mean, they look better in green, don't they? So than what they do in this paler colour. So yeah, think of all the embellishments you got. Think of when you're colouring an image and how you can make that look, because I think there's something really cool about being able to tie your embellishments in with whatever you are colouring in. So let's have a look and see if there's any of you there. So Rachel has said, what is your favourite thing to colour? Flowers, animals or people? I actually really love colouring in like hair and skin. That is, if I could just sit and practice that more, that would be the thing I love colouring in, because there's something really rewarding when you've coloured an image in and you've got the skin tone right and you've got the hair right. And I always remember my very first demo that I did in a store, which was in Skegness, and it was on my birthday as well. It was my first job that I got, going to a store and being able to do a demo. My mum come with me. She used to come to all my store demos, and I always remember that light bulb moment from a lady, Tracy I believe her name was, that was sitting watching, and she just said, I've not been able to get it and now I just get it. And it was all about that light source and where your light source comes from, where you put your shading in and that sort of thing. And just to be able to, because I genuinely don't think I'm a brilliant colourist. I don't think I can colour. I would just like to be better. I think there's a lot that I could learn as well. But I just love the fact that with hair and skin, you can really get amazing results with practice. So yeah, that's my favourite thing to colour. Rachel, what's yours? Do you colour? What do you colour in? Because I think people do have their favourites, don't they? Tesha is saying, hi, Debbie Fisher. Hi, Tesha. It's a nice name, Tesha. I've never heard that before. It's a beautiful name. Whereabouts is that from, Tesha? It's really lovely. PB Brewer Martin is saying, Debbie, you look so pretty today. Your hair is especially fab. Thank you very much. I haven't curled it today, I've left it straight, so yeah, I do normally curl it. And Rachel says that her favourite is florals. Yeah, I think Craig's favourite is florals, only because he has that favourite stamp, use the same stamp. Right, shall we get on to hair? I can't believe where the time's going, it's just, it's going nowhere. So let's use, I'm going to bring in, so that's our urban, I don't want urban, we want our, we don't want coastal, we don't want either of those ones. Let's pop them there. I'm going to bring in our skin tones, so our figure and portrait I'm going to bring in, and I'm also going to bring in the natural landscapes as well. And the reason being is because there's some really nice browns in there. Now what I have done is I've been testing some colours, and I would recommend anybody doing this, because if you like certain combinations, test them out first. So I'm going to use for skin the TN1 and TN2 from the figure and portrait. So I will keep this so I know that these are what I like to use. And then I've also got my hair colours as well, which tells me, but they're out of the natural landscape and the figure and portrait, because I want to get this blend of colour. And as you learn your pens, or learn to use your pens, you'll learn what colours will match together and look beautiful. So what we're going to start with is, let's start with our hair. So I'm going to start with those colours. So we've got our G8, which is this one here. So we've got G8, GB8 and EB3. And then in our landscapes, we've got the EB5 and EB7. So you can see I've gone for the same colour families. They don't all run through the same colour families, but it means you can get similar colour families. So even though they're all my EBs, which are, I think, ebony brown, we've then got a cinnamon here, which is GB8, which is our gold brown. But the gold brown matches really well with these. So a really lovely combination there. So I'm going to start off with my cinnamon, and then we're going to work up through our numbers. So I'm actually using 4 different colours here. We say about a 3-colour blend, but I think with hair, especially when you've got longer hair, it's just really nice to be able to add these extra tones in. And then what I would also say is highlight where you want your light to go. So let's say I think here is going to be darker. You can see the shadow in that we've got down here. I think sort of mid here is going to be where I want to start my lightness. But what I want to do is create a light panel going through. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the colour here and across there, like so. Doesn't have to be even. I'm not trying to get even. I just want to get almost like a little bit of a wibbly line. And then I'm going to sort of come up and down a bit, and we're just going to have just a small area where we're allowing for that light source. So just going to leave that like there, and we can even add a bit more. So just where I want to add a little bit of sort of light, so it really looks like the light is shining on there. Once you've sorted where you want that, then you can sort of do extras going down. So I think we'll have another bit going here and across here. And you can fill that in if you want, if it doesn't look nice, but it's really good to get that in there first. And then that way what you would do is then flick from those sections. So from here, I'm just going to flick up like so. I'm not going to worry about going over the little beads. That doesn't matter because we can always colour them in later. But we're just going to put this colour just flicking up from there to start with. And then I like to turn around because I always like to flick away from me. So I then turn that round and we will flick going down like so. And it's just a case of, and because we've already put that in, it might be a little bit darker, so we're just going to work on that line to make sure we don't get a harsh line. And just by going over that same amount, we're just getting that beautiful flicking technique. And again, and because we've got that small brush, can really get into the smaller pieces like so. Just a nice way. And absolutely sort of practice this technique because you'll get great results, like really great results. So just a little bit more there. And then I'm also going to just come back to this bit and flick up from there, so we're filling that gap. And the reason flicking is really good when you're doing hair is because you don't lay down such a lot of colour, because you want to build that colour up. So you can see straight away we've got that sort of crack that's coming in her hair, so it looks. And what I would also say is trust the process, because when you're colouring, there's going to be times where your alcohol's not evaporated right, the blending doesn't feel right. Go away for a little while, leave it to settle for a few minutes, because then when you come back it looks different once it's all evaporating and started to blend together. And then you can always go over certain pieces and then rework, reblend, but just trust that you'll get to the point where it'll look lovely. And I always think with alcohol pens, colouring it twice works better than colouring it just once. Colouring it once sometimes gives you a beautiful lay down of colour and looks lovely, but actually it looks fabulous when you then go over it again, because it then gives you a deeper shade, deeper depth, and it just looks amazing. So once we've done that, I'm then going to go into my EB3, which is a darker colour, and we're going to do the same, but this time I want to leave this quite light, so I'm going to come from the top and we're just going to go now into that line, but not right down, because this is slightly darker and we're just adding a bit more of a richer colour, so like so. And then we're going to do the same from the bottom here. And at first you'll think there's not much difference, but there actually is quite a bit of difference. So we're just going to keep going with that flick just to get that beautiful brown hair in. And then while we're still there, I'm going to go in with my EB5 and then come again from the bottom here. And this is even darker. So it will, and then we can get a little bit higher with some flicks. So some look darker than others. And there's still some light shining through. And then we'll go back to the top. And then I'm just going to come in with that. Not so much because I don't want to get rid of that complete light that we've created. We can always sort of come round here a little bit more to add some darkness. And then we're going to our last colour, which is that darker one. And just come from there. And that will be right under here because this will be quite dark because she's got all of that foliage in her hair and flowers. So that's just a case of really creating some depth. And then we can come up the side here. Oh, look, first time I've gone quiet. Colouring coma, as our Sarah calls it. Who's looking forward to Sarah being back in the build? I think she's back in tomorrow. Yes, it is Ben's birthday tomorrow. I've left him something in the green room. Yes. In fact, I felt really bad because I went and done some shopping yesterday and I thought, oh, I must get Ben something to leave him because he's off tomorrow. And I thought I'll buy him a big bottle of beer because he likes his beer, and I'll buy him some chocolate. And then I got home and Al started putting the shopping away and he said thank you, but I didn't quite know what he was saying. I thought he just meant, yeah, that. And then I said, oh, where's Ben's bottle of beer? And he went, oh, that's what I just thanked you for. I thought it was my bottle of beer. And I still took it this morning, so I was a bit mean, wasn't I? I do owe him a bottle of beer, yes. Then what you can do is go back to your first one. So we can go back to our first colour and then just fill that in again. And you'll start to get that real richness of colour, which is beautiful. And if you do go through some of that white, it's absolutely fine because it'll still give that subtleness of your colour, your light colour coming through. So really lovely technique to do. But it just gives you that beautiful blending. Sorry, Nicola, how long did you say? I was miles away then. Oh, we are approaching the end. How is that even possible? Oh, okay, we've had a, oh yes, I see it here. Love to Create is saying, Debbie, is it better to use a blender pen to bleach out mistakes going out of the lines, or is there a better way? I find that a blender pen doesn't always do the job. So, depending on your colour, a blender pen is what Leanne says we should have always called a bleach pen because it does bleach out your colour. What you need to do, I don't think there's a blender pen in any of these collections. Pretty sure there isn't, no. You will find it in one of them. What you have to do is if you go out the lines, you would then use your pen. I'm going to just use my, where's the light grey that I had earlier? I've got a BG grey. I'm just going to bring this back in. When you are bleaching out of a colour, so we used a, let's just do a little bit of a pink coming out there. So if it comes out there, you can see just coming out of that piece. What you would do is you would hold this colour on, oh, I haven't got a piece of, let me just pop that there. You would hold that down so it pushes your colour through. So as you push that down, your colour then will come out on the other side there. So that's the best way for your bleacher pen to work, not just by colouring over it. You actually want to push it out. So if I do that again and show you, so let's just do another bit there. Oh no, look, we've come out of that side. The best way to bleach it out is to push. Hold it down, push that down, and that will push it out the other side and then bleach through. Now I'm not using a blender pen, I'm actually using, this is a brown grey, but you can, it's still doing what I need it to do. Can you see? So I'm just pushing, and then look, there's all your pink coming out on the other side. So that's how you would use your blender pen. It's a case of doing that. If you keep going over it, it will go into this colour and bleed that colour out. So what you want to do is make sure you push that down and then push your colour through to the other side, and then leave it to dry, and if it's still there, go back and do it again. So if it's a darker colour, you might have to do it a few times, but that's how you would do that. You would just push that colour out with your blender pen. So I hope that helps. Try it, give it a go, because it's the blender pen is brilliant. Your blender pen also is really good for creating brick walls. So if you colour your brown pen and then use your chisel nib to go over the top, oh, that's not on the Illustrators. That's on your Classiques, that's a chisel pen, then you can make out. But it's good for doing all sorts of things. Right, so let's just do the top of her head now. So, but this time I'm going to show you doing it a different way. I'm going to show you by using the darker colour first, because I'm going to go around all these pieces. So just in all those little crevices, just making sure we've got, again, I'm just flicking that out. But because I want to use the darker colour around all those beautiful florals and around her headdress, there we go, like so, then we can start going the opposite way. So then I've got my EB5. And these colours are all in your set of Illustrator. So if you did want to go for them today, remember they are £80 or $100 if you're platinum, which is incredible value. You might even know somebody who's who wants to give them a try. Give them a shout, let them know, because that's such a good saving today. So I'm just going to do a little bit there, and then the last little bit is our cocoa. So EB3, and I don't want to do too much because I want to leave a little bit there, but I am just going to blend that in a little bit more at the top, like so. I'm still not happy with that. I think we need to do a bit of the dark right at the very top. So let's just come in and just do tiny little flicks on the top there. That's better. Feel like that's really blending her hair in better and looks like that light's coming through. Right, I think we've just got time to do our skin tone. So I'm going to start off with our TN1, and we're just going to go over her whole face. So won't be colouring our whole image in, but we will manage to get her face done. So just come in round there. Putting that lovely lay down of colour. There's lighter colours if you want a lighter skin tone, but this is a really nice skin tone to use. And remember, it's darker when you first use it, and then it will get lighter. And then while that's like that, I am actually going to use a FS, which is Fair Skin 1, which is like a pink tone. So I just want to give her some sort of rosy cheeks. So it's just a case of bringing that round, so you can see the pink in there, and then we can then just go round the edge of that, just to make sure we blend that in. I'm going to go under the eye, just where we think that skin tone will be. It's the same skin tone that I've already used, so that's the one I've done her face with, but I'm now going to come in with a darker one, which is the TM2, and just around her hairline, we're just going to come around a little bit down here where we know that there's going to be a little bit more shading. So under her eye, and do her nose, around her lips, and then around her chin. And then obviously under her chin would be a lot darker. And then we can go back in with the TN1 and just blend, and all I'm doing is just tickling the two colours together, because it's just a case of using your alcohol to blend that together, and then you would wait to see how you like that effect. We can go over actually our pink there, that would just highlight that a little bit more, but that's how you would do your pink tone. And then if you want to go in with a little bit more pink, let's say on her lips, We can just pop pink on her lips. Have a little bit more around there. And there we go. So that was how you would get your skin and your hair. So it's just about getting that overall lightened shade. So once you've done that, let me show you our main picture. I'll just turn that around so you can see. So having a full on colour like that is how you would get a beautiful coloured image like that, where you'd get all that light and dark tone in there. So a really lovely way just to be able to use those Illustrator pens. So I hope that was all very helpful for you. Remember that there are so many different tutorials that you can use as well. Let's have a look. We've got Laurie is saying, if you emboss your stamping, it's easier to stay in the line. So Laurie, that's a brilliant tip actually, because yes, you're absolutely right. If you emboss them, depending on the colour, if it's just black, it doesn't matter if you go over them, because your alcohol pens will colour the black line in, but you won't notice it. You're absolutely right. So embossing the lines will absolutely help you to stay in. So it's a really good tip, that one. Love to Create is saying, thank you, Debbie. I see now where I'm going wrong. Definitely helps. Oh, brilliant. That's about the blender pen. And Pamela is saying, hi Debbie and everyone, late to the show but have recorded it as I have a new kitty and takes up all the attention. Oh, I love that. What's your kitty name, Pamela? And Jamie is saying, very nice colouring you are doing there. Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate that. Thank you everyone that has joined us for the last hour. I mean, I don't know where the time's gone. It's gone so quickly. If you do want to go for those Illustrator pens, then that way you can see the price on there. Nearly got it wrong. I mean, if you're not in the club, definitely join the club, because you get a big discount, and when you become platinum, you get them for the price on there, which is £80 or £100. But actually, £100, $125, saving £50 off the actual main price for the pens is absolutely incredible. You're getting 48 markers of our creme de la creme markers, which are incredible, honestly. If you can go for them today and treat yourself, you will absolutely never look back, because they are incredible markers to use. That brush nib is beautiful, which you'll absolutely love. But thank you so much for joining me on Craft Together. I have another Craft Together on Thursday, where I'm going to be showing you my take on the graceful plumes. So I hope you can come back and join me on Thursday at 1 o'clock. I will be back, however, at 4 or 5 o'clock tonight, where we've got Beautiful Beginnings. No, it's not. It's launch party. It's Beautiful Beginners tomorrow. Getting my days mixed up. Launch party tonight. We're going to be showing you the carnival again. So that beautiful vintage carnival, and also the layering sentiments, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So I hope you can join us. And remember to catch Ben and Penny, who are going to be on literally in just a few minutes time. So don't go anywhere, and just make sure, just refresh your page, and then you can just tune back in to our next show. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Love to you all. Bye.